court number 2 in the women's singles, representing Canada, Michelle Lee, and representing England, Sarah Walker.
Tough task facing Sarah Walker, the 24-year-old from Basildon in Essex, as she comes on to play the number 3 seed, Michelle Lee, who has been in outstanding form throughout the competition. In the team competition, Michelle Lee beat PV Sindhu, who is the number 1 seed in the individual, as India beat Canada in the quarterfinals. It was the one match the Canadians won. So Sarah Walker has it all to do. The world rankings are 19 for Michelle Lee and 76 for Sarah Walker. So, Nathan, this is a tough one for Sarah.
Yeah, it's a really tough one, but this is her chance, this is her moment to try and grab the spotlight here. Michelle Lee, she is a young player, it's still a big stage for her. I know she's been playing on the tour around the world for the last few years, but her victory in the team event against India has really pushed her to be not only a medal hope, but actually a real challenger for the gold medal, Michelle Lee.
Here is the lineup, and you can see that home nations represented by Sarah Walker and Kirsty Gilmore, the 2nd seed, who has just beaten Michelle Chan of New Zealand. So Kirsty Gilmore through to the semi-finals. It's a super result for the Scots. Here's Michelle Lee, 23 years of age, born in Hong Kong, but parents moved to Canada when she was just 6 years of age. Reached quarterfinals of the All England Championships in Birmingham earlier this year, and seems, Nathan, to have really built on that.
Well, she's an improving player rapidly. I would say still a young player. Works with a Chinese coach out in Canada and is a really hard worker, really smooth mover.
Sarah Walker, 1 year older at 24, of course, based in Milton Keynes. Michelle Lee now has her home in Toronto. Michelle was a quarter-finalist 4 years ago, and her route through to this quarter-final beat the Pakistani Alwasha Bashir, and how nice it was to see a Pakistani lady competing. 21-9, 21-4, and then a really impressive win against young 18-year-old Liang Xiaoyu of Singapore, who played really well in the team competition. She beat her in straight games, 21-16, 21-16. Sarah Walker had the easy win over Shari Watson of Barbados, but then Nathan, as you know only too well, having coached his Jersey team, had to work really hard against Liz Can, who 4 years ago won the bronze medal playing for England.
Yes, it was a tough game yesterday between Sarah Walker and Elizabeth Can. 21-18 in the 3rd game, so she really did have to work hard, and it was a difficult match against a former fellow squad member in England in Elizabeth Can and national champion.
Ready to play.
They actually played each other in the English national finals this year in February, so I'm sure she was relieved to get through that match, and now, like I say, against an opponent who she's an underdog against, she can perhaps relax a little bit more, because she is a dangerous player. She's got good weapons on the court.
Girish Natu from India is the service judge. You saw Sean Sukdeo from Trinidad and Tobago in the umpire's chair. The winner of this match will play either the top seed PV Sindhu of India or Anna Rankin of New Zealand in the semi-finals. And, well, quite frankly, it would be a huge surprise if Rankin was to win the quarter-final. But that's the glory of sport, and that's what Sarah Walker must be thinking. It's my chance to really cause a huge upset.
And I do think that Sarah, she actually normally plays really well against opponents ranked higher than herself. I think it's opponents ranked around the same level that she sometimes struggles with on the tour. So I'm expecting her to put up a good performance today and push Michelle Lee very close.
Love all. Play. Service over. 1 love.
Well, a mistake by Michelle Lee, going for the cross-court angle. One thing you'll notice about Michelle Lee is she's very relaxed in between the points. Some players are quite intense and fired up, but Michelle Lee is actually very relaxed, often smiling in between the points. I think it's actually a good way to conserve your energy. You can sometimes waste a little bit of energy being too intense in between the points.
Yeah, lovely angle.
Service over. 2-1.
The first smash in the net was obviously a sighter. For the second one, just cutting across the shuttle. Not too much pace, so it actually died as it got towards the line. I think that's why Sarah Walker left it, believing it was going to continue, but the shuttle actually died in speed as it got closer to the line.
Oh, that's nice.
Well, anything Michelle can do, Sarah can do better. Returning the compliment. And you can see the racket just cutting across the shuttle right at the highest point she can take it.
And in cutting across it, are you actually hitting the feathers and imparting that spin?
No, you're only just cutting on the outside of the cork of the shuttle, so you won't touch the feathers. You'll just cut across the outside of the cork, so it'll just stay on the strings, you know, just a slight moment longer than you would if you were hitting a pure straight shot with no slice at all. So it might touch 2 or 3 strings as you slice it instead of just staying on one.
It is again. Seeing a lot of that shot in the opening exchanges.
Still waiting for the super slow-mo camera so we can actually see how many strings the shuttle's touching as we slice it. And the reverse slice this time by Michelle Wee goes wide, and this is an encouraging start for Sarah Walker.
Service over. 4-5.
Well, the mistake by Sarah Walker after a long rally, both players using all 4 corners really well. The cross-court lift working around the back for Sarah Walker. Sarah's always been a very strong physical player. I've been on teams with her in the past playing for England, and she always, even coming out of juniors, was incredibly strong as an athlete, but didn't perhaps have the consistency and the shots against the top players. She was maybe making too many mistakes. But she has improved that a lot in the last year or 2.
Service over. 6-5.
Well, certainly staying with a much higher ranked player in these early exchanges. 6-5 is Walker's lead.
Service over, 6-all.
Well, just a little bit late getting down to the backhand side. Not moving either of the feet, just sending the racket first. Needed to be a bit more active with the feet on defense.
That one did look out.
Service over, 7-all. Service over, 8-7.
Well, I didn't watch Michelle Lee's previous round, but it is a very impressive score against the top Singapore girl. Really comfortable, and that would have been a banana skin Michelle Lee when she looked at the draw, seeing the top Singapore girl in her last 16. So I'm sure she got a lot of confidence from that.
Yeah, and it was happening on the other court when we were on this court last night. I spoke to Jill Clark about it, our colleague, and she said Michelle Lee played really, really well.
Well, Sarah Walker just going for a more of a flat, short flick serve. Michelle Lee didn't have to move back too far, 2 steps back. Almost a doubles flick serve there by Sarah Walker. Not deep enough into the court.
Service over, 9-all.
Well, there's that sort of half smile at her own mistake.
I think it's almost a sigh of a mistake, knowing that maybe she should have done a little bit better with that net shot. But again, a poor serve by Sarah. That's 2 in a row from Sarah Walker. Very frustrated with herself. That one actually landed wide of the doubles court.
Ooh. Well, that surprised me.
Wow, she's done 2 of those now. Going into the rear court and almost losing her balance and losing her footing as she was going back around the head there.
Ramnaya coaching Michelle Lee for Canada in the games.
Service over, 11-10, interval.
Well, Michelle Lee leads, but just by a solitary point. This is David Lindley. Having missed 2 serves in a row, he's got that one into play, but a lovely drop smash.
It's quality technique, reversing across the shuttle, using the deception. Interestingly, with the coaches, the English players are all based in Milton Keynes in England, all train in the same squad all the time, in the same hall with the same coaches. Michelle Lee has Ramnayar behind the court, but actually has a different coach, and the Canadian squad are actually not all based in the same city, and they only come together for training camps frequently as an actual national team. So it's a completely different setup than is in England.
Canada, of course, I think I'm right in saying is the 2nd biggest country in the world in terms of land mass. But there's a lot of it which is Almost uninhabitable unless you're a polar bear. Yeah, that's good.
13-10.
Well, it always amazes me. I'm actually going to Canada in 2 weeks to do a coaching course, and it takes me about 6.5 hours to fly there, but it actually takes 8 hours to fly coast to coast in Canada. So it's, you know, it's even further than the distance actually flying from the UK.
That's nice. Needed that.
So the silver,
Having lost 3 points in a row.
13.
Well, the coach, David Linley, giving her instructions as well in between the rallies there. Obviously trying to get the tactics to her out there on the court.
Lovely little block drop.
12-13.
Well, Walker injected the power in the overhead. And then that's very clever, really stretching up high. Dave Linley, former doubles player for the National England team.
Ooh, and she's let that drop and it's in.
13 all.
So, having lost 3 points in a row, Walker responds by winning 3 in a row, and we're tied at 13.
So the silver.
Misjudgment there by
14-13.
Sarah Walker as Michelle Lee's lift return of serve landed in. Michelle Lee was a famous doubles part name-wise, playing with Alex Bruce. They were the famous Bruce Lee partnership, who actually made the semi-finals, lost in the bronze match, I believe, at the London 2012 Olympics.
Yeah, the draw opened up there through the disqualification of 4 pairs in the not trying row.
Yeah. Yes, I'm not sure we want to go through all that again, and hopefully we'll never see anything like that in this sport again.
No, I certainly hope I never have to commentate on anything like that again.
No, I can imagine commentating on people serving low out the side into the net on purpose. Isn't very enjoyable.
So the silver. 15-14.
Well, got to be impressed with how Sarah Walker's hanging in this first game, maintaining this level with a gap in the rankings of nearly 50 places.
It's a shame.
16-14.
Just going wide on the smash.
They're the mistakes that she's tried to eradicate from her game in the last year or two. But at least they're mistakes when she's actually trying to force the play. The smash lands wide by Michelle Lee.
16.
Both players being aggressive though, attacking the shuttle.
And Walker draws level again.
Very good aggression there at the net. She pushes it into Michelle Lee's body and then she's ready for the short lift. And again, straight back into the forehand side of the body. She's got to be aggressive if she's going to take this match, Sarah Walker.
Lovely block. And Walker takes the lead
16.
late in this first game.
Well, Michelle Lee, speed back of the court, but was completely off balance going backwards, had no chance of recovering to the forecourt. the favoured Canadian being troubled.
Pity.
Service over.
Just wide.
17 all.
Well, that net shot doesn't need to go near the line. It's not going to be an outright winner going to hit the floor. You need to bring that into the court slightly.
And she's missed that as well. That's 2 errors.
17.
Well, Sarah just asking the umpire if he saw the call. She does have a very strong smash, and that is very tight to the line.
Correction.
Oh, wow.
So 18 all.
Well,
No argument from Michelle Lee either.
no.
I think it was clearly out.
18 all.
That's a fantastic backhand there.
19,
A
18.
backhand push drive by Michelle Lee, but she was so relaxed on that shot. Moving back in it, pushing it deep into Sarah Walker's forehand side. This shot here on the backhand, that is so relaxed, great technique.
Oh, what an opportunity.
20.
And again, just
18.
pushed it wide. And it's given Michelle Lee 2 game points.
Sarah Walker just trying to roll over the top of the shuttle, pulling it wide. Chance for the first game for the Canadian.
Game.
Well, the missed kill from Sarah Walker. She'd set the rally up perfectly.
18.
Actually had a forehand smash from the front service line, but brought it down into the net to hand the first game to Michelle Lee.
Yeah, that will be frustrating for Sarah. Played it so well up to 18 all, but then crucial errors at the vital moment. This was the game point.
Well, I don't think kills come much easier than this one. The return by Michelle was high. And you can see the frustration with Sarah when she gets to the net. The racket was on the head. Can't quite believe she's missed the kill there on game point. Well, our wish in the mixed doubles of having an England-Scotland semi-final could well be coming true, with the Scottish pair on the adjacent court taking the first game.
Yeah, Blair and Banky have taken the first game 21-11 against the Canadians, Eng and Chan. But the Canadians lead 4-1 in the second, so...
Michelle Lee just adjusting her shoes.
For 2, 20 seconds.
I think just at the end of that first game, there was just a little bit of tightening by Sarah Walker. couple of easy mistakes, really. She was still being aggressive. And the kill on game point, and also the backhand push, which just went wide to set up the game point for Michelle Lee. But she'll be encouraged about the first game, the English girl. She played well, she had her chances. She'll hope to be in the same position again and not make those mistakes right at the end of the game in this second game.
Recovered well from a little slip there, Walker. That is that amazing angle again from Michelle Lee.
Sarah Walker recovered well after the little slip. Those little slips when you're lunging, especially at singles, the full lunge, you often land on the heel of your shoe. Landing on the heel and it just slides forward. They can cause nasty injuries to your Achilles tendon when you overstretch like that, but she recovered well from it. And this time she kills the forehand. That's the one she should have made at the end of the first game. Stepping in this time. That was actually a harder shot, going around the head slightly.
Yeah, you mentioning Achilles injuries. I will never forget commentating down in Bournemouth, the old Masters tournament, when Jill snapped her Achilles tendon. And it echoed around the arena. It was a horrible moment.
I have been in a badminton hall when I have that. You'll never forget the sound of a snapped Achilles tendon in badminton. The whole hall goes silent. It's one of the worst. You never want to hear that in your life if possible. But badminton's a brutal sport on the body, pushing themselves to the limit. Especially the singles players, really stretching all the time. Michelle Lee opening up her healthy lead here. Sarah attempting a very difficult cross-court net shot from really close to the floor.
So it's over, 2-3.
I like the way both players are being really aggressive in this game, and when they've got any chance of attacking, they're really going for it. I think they both know physically they're both so strong. Both players have got incredibly strong legs. Sometimes you'll look at an opponent and think you have the better of them physically. But I think these two know that they're both equally as strong as each other. So they're both going for the winners, going for the aggressive game. Michelle Lee's technique overhead means she's always moving forward straight away after she's hit the shuttle. She's always on the way in, looking for the follow-up after the smash if it hasn't won the rally outright.
Well, so important now for Sarah Walker not to let Michelle Lee get away from her in the early stages of this second game.
Well, Michelle started the match a little bit relaxed. We said she was relaxed, but maybe not as fired up. You can see her celebrating every point she wins now.
That smash into the back corners, working well for Walker.
No, she's responding well. In the past, she has been liable to a few runs of mistakes, maybe 2, 3, 4, 5 mistakes in a row, giving her opponents easy gaps. But she's really hanging in well there, responding when a mistake comes, putting in a winner.
So it's over.
It's Michelle Lee with the return winner this time. actually deceptive, looking like she was going to play a net shot, and she held the racket and then punched it through at the last minute.
Sustained attack. And no mistake at the net with the easy smash this time.
Oh, the ambitious backhand cross-court smash by Michelle Lee. I think that really was one shot too far for her. She actually had the time. I think she'd have been better off just putting it back, controlling it in the court and waiting for a better opportunity. I don't often see backhand smash winners in ladies singles.
Just too long.
Service over, 7-5.
I would love to see more backhand smash winners in ladies singles or badminton in general. My former partner Anthony Clark used to love a backhand smash winner.
Service over, 6-7.
It was looking a little ominous for Walker at 6-3 down, but he's done well. And that's good, and she levels it off. That's 7 points apiece.
Well, she's responding so well when she goes behind. She's never really had, I don't think she's ever been 2 points ahead in this match. So Michelle Lee's always getting ahead, Sarah Walker fighting back. Be good to see. There you go, Sarah Walker takes the lead. It'll be good to see if she can get herself ahead. And then we'll see the response from Michelle Lee. Quality tight spinning forehand net by Walker. Well, I'm sure Sarah Walker's boyfriend, also an England team player, Andy Ellis, will probably be in the arena supporting her. He has a men's doubles match later, but he's always in the arena when she's playing, if possible, and that one has landed in as well. And as we hope, she goes 3 points clear.
Yes, the first time she's been 3 points clear. Very briefly, she had a 4-2 advantage in the first game. Terrific performance here from Sarah Walker to lead by 4 at the interval.
You're going to be able to control the return of it. So no matter what she does,
Coach, you wait 20 seconds. For 2, 20 seconds.
Well, her coach there telling her to use a few more cuts and slices, saying that Sarah Walker's defence is good when it's a little bit higher, but he believes that she's struggling when Michelle Lee can get the shuttle cut down low. Well, in the first game, it was the shoes that needed adjusting. In the second game, it's the hair that needs a change. Looks like we're going for a bun for the second half of this second game.
Not a problem I have, Nathan.
No, I'll have to admit to sporting a ponytail in my younger years, so can't say I ever had a bun.
11-7.
I think ponytails went out of fashion probably in the 90s, though.
Yeah, just gone a little long.
So the silver, 8-11.
Well, we'll see after the mid-game interval if Sarah Walker is able to maintain the pressure that she was putting on Michelle Lee in the first part of this second game.
Nine, 11.
And it's Michelle Lee who's come out the more aggressive since the interval. That time, a quality cross-court smash down to Sarah Walker's backhand side, unable to get anywhere near the shuttle. And the lead that was 4 is quickly being whittled away by the higher seed. She actually held that cross push a little, just made Sarah Walker hesitate, pulled her attack wide.
So the silver.
Well, unable to draw level there. That was an important point for Walker to maintain a lead here.
And now extended.
13-10.
Incidentally, that huge roar was for the win for Robert Blair and Imogen Bankier in the mixed. So it will be them against the Adcocks in the semis.
So the silver.
Oh, I can't wait for that mixed doubles match. I think we're going to have a football-style atmosphere in the arena here tomorrow. There's a lot of Scottish fans, but there's also a lot of English, and I think we're going to have a lot of support for both pairs. It's going to be noisy.
Good.
Michelle Wu really working well in that rally. She was working all 4 corners of Sarah Walker. She just started to slow a tiny bit.
Nathan, in a situation like this, a multi-court program going on, how difficult is it to concentrate on your match when there's that din as a result of what's going on in the adjoining court?
Well, I think you're aware what's going on the other court. It's sometimes difficult when there's a really exceptionally close match and it's coming to the end, let's say 20-all in the third set. It's really difficult not to look over onto that court and just take a breather. If the whole of the arena is watching one court, you know, you've got to concentrate on your match, but I'll tell you that players do look over, do watch the last rallies of another match sometimes, but they immediately focus back on their own game.
Well, the lead, which Sarah Walker pushed back up to 3 points, is now gone, 13-all. It's landed on the line.
14-13.
Lee's back in front.
Back to the arena situation, different matches. I have actually been involved in games where there was such an important match going on and we had only just started the match. It was in the first game. I think it was 21-all, 22-all in the third, and we kind of all agreed on court that we'd take a drinks break. So we all walked off, took a drink, and actually started watching the match on the next court.
server, 14 all.
Oh, strange error, that one.
Oh, the gap was there. Cross-court forehand was there for Michelle Lee. Bit of complacency on that shot. Probably already thinking she'd made it before she played it.
To the server, 15-14.
Very similar situation in this second game to what we had in the first. Tight score. Only 1 point in it. This is where the English girl has got to really be strong. Not give any easy points away to Michelle Lee. And the forehand kill brings her back. Quality, almost drive clear into the rear of Michelle Lee was the shot that set it up. And she steps forward. No chance to get a good length to the rear of the court for Michelle Lee.
To the server, 16-15.
Well, just missing again. It's that same scenario. The rally before really well, opened the court up for the attack winner. And again attacking, but just missing down the sideline with her attack.
Well played.
To the server,
Well, Sarah
16
Walker with a fantastic rally there, really working hard, using a lot of skill. You'll see the reverse slice on this final shot as she goes back, really rolling the wrist over. Really relaxed grip on that, as well as really no tension in the hand. She just rolls the wrist around, brings it across. The game is tied again at 16 all.
to the server, 17-16.
An injection of pace there from Lee.
Well, you can see how much her body turns when she hits that smash, really using the full force of her shoulder and the body turn. That's how she generates the power. It doesn't all come from the wrist or the forearm. There's the whole body goes into the smash.
So a 2-point lead at this stage of the game could be very significant. Just going too long on the punch clear.
Display.
And again, it's the favourite Michelle Lee who's just edging ahead at the end of the game. Huge rally there. Sarah Walker
60.
had 2 or 3 almost killable shots there. Michelle Lee did brilliantly on defence, got back into the rally. The net shot took the net cord by Michelle Lee and has brought her to within 2 points of a place in the semi-finals tomorrow. Now or never for Walker and her Commonwealth chances.
Yeah, that's right into the corner.
19.
Encouragement to Sarah.
And at this stage of the game, there's no room for mistakes by Sarah Walker. She's got to really play perfect badminton from here on. The serve is a little bit short.
20, match point 17.
And Michelle Lee onto it so quickly to set up 3 match points.
Well, to a player who's so explosive with a smash, I feel the higher serve would have been better suited there, but it's match point to Michelle Lee.
To the silver.
Well,
18,
not patient
20.
enough on the first match point. Going for a little too much around the head. She's got 2 more chances, though, to close out this quarter-final.
And does so.
The celebration, I think she's relieved to get through that one. Sarah Walker put up a fantastic fight, but it's Michelle Lee, one of the gold medal chances for Canada, who will progress to tomorrow's semi-finals.
Match won by Michelle Lee. 21-18, 21-18.
To be honest, a much closer match than many of us were anticipating, and that's credit to Sarah Walker. But it was that perhaps greater experience of playing at much higher level tournaments because of the world ranking situation that enabled Michelle Lee to produce her best when it mattered most.
Well, I think that, as I said before, Sarah can raise a game against higher ranked players, but it was at the end of the games when you really need to be consistent, not make any mistakes. Michelle Lee was the more aggressive, going for the smashes in the last few points. But credit to Sarah Walker, England's #1 female ladies singles player, pushed the Canadian all the way there, getting a good reception from the English fans in the crowd.
And those English fans, almost simultaneously with Sarah Walker's defeat, have some good news, because Chris Langridge and Heather Olver are through to the semi-finals of the mixed doubles, having beaten the Canadians Eng and Bruce 21-16, 21-17. So that means that the home nations will have 3 of the 4 semi-finalists in the mixed doubles. But Michelle Lee carries Canadian hopes into the semi-finals of the women's singles. Almost certainly will play PV Sindhu, the top seed from India, who she beat in the team competition. So Michelle Lee with a real opportunity, if she can reproduce that form, to carry Canadian hopes all the way into the gold medal matches, which will be on Sunday. Let's look back on Lee's win over Walker.
Representing England, Sarah Walker.
Well, the games were tight. First game, Michelle Lee was very relaxed coming out onto court this quarter-final. But it was at the end of the first game where she just raised the quality just slightly. Sarah Walker did have the big opportunity to get 1 point closer with the smash, the kill, the forehand kill at the net. This is the one. She had this opportunity to stay in the game. I don't think she could quite believe that miss. And as I said, credit to Walker. She really fought well. Showed that she has the ability to move higher in the rankings and trouble the top 20 in the world. But Michelle Lee has a huge future in front of her. I'm sure that she will be stepping on the podium later this week. It's just a case of what colour she'll be hanging around her neck. Beating the top seed from India, she'll be one of the gold medal favourites.